everybody, Zoom360 here on the go, and wow, 2020 is out of the door. So in Zoom360 fashion, we are going to review what we've done or where we've been this year, or where we haven't been, or where we were supposed to go but then COVID. So yeah, what did we do in 2020? So we started off the year doing pretty good, I think. I started to visit a lot of places, a lot of local places, and we were doing so well. I think one of the first places that we went was Manitou Springs. In there, we tried the Manitou Spring Incline. And needless to say, I wasn't warned properly. Then we visited the Cave of the Winds, which was actually pretty good. Now, just so you guys know, left is wrong, right is right. Left is lost. So if you ever come in to the Cave of the Winds Discovery Tour.
That's also why you guys kind of smell a more musty smell up in this room, because we are closer to the surface in this room. We're also sitting at about 7,000 feet above sea level. So congratulations, you all climbed half of Pikes Peak. You can tell me right now. We are the second highest elevated cavern system in America. The first is Glenwood Caverns in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. Alright, now I'm going to tell you guys some pretty cheesy jokes, so just bear with me.
Then we also went to the Cliff Dwellings, which I guess that's also in Manitou Springs, I think. And those were very interesting. I kind of like to go around and see places like that. So I really enjoyed that one. So at first I was like, these dwellings look modern, but I was looking at the wrong thing. So I was looking at the museum, which is down here. Yeah, Cliff Dwelling Museum. This is interesting. Right, so now we're going to the other room. Looks like there's more. So we're just coming from the refuse area, making our way up this ladder. Well, not ladder, but these stairs. This is really cool. So imagine the people who used to live here. Wow. See how they have different compartments? Now this looks like a place where they used to burn stuff, or probably cook stuff. That's cool. Oh my God, it's not made for big people. Focus. Then I finally went and saw Star Wars. I think that was the last one they did. The one that Disney is no longer claiming. Well, not The Last Jedi, but Star Wars. Oh my gosh. It's not The Last Jedi, but the one that's after The Last Jedi that a lot of people did not like, just like The Last Jedi. But this one, I think it was a 6 out of 10. It was alright. I'm glad that I went to see it as a matinee. I didn't pay as much to see it. I didn't think it was worth the full, complete movie price, and I was right. Then COVID happened. Yeah, I kind of was in a big pickle because all the places that I wanted to go visit and to take you along with me were still there, but they were closed. So I went for like weeks on end, like you know, calling places, and everywhere was the same. We're closed because of COVID. And you know, this was at the beginning of this crisis, so a lot of people were just panicking and crazy. So yeah, that was about March, like February, late February, March, April, May. That was a rush. I was like, I kind of felt like I was like you know, Rick James, Rick Grimes from The Walking Dead. Like I was in the beginning of some kind of a disease, like the end of the world, like, you know, disease apocalypse or something. Then, you know, as time, like, you know, went by, you know, you kind of realize that it's not as serious as, I mean, it's still serious, but it's no way an apocalypse. So, but the first 3 months kind of felt that way. I was like, you know, sitting in the apartment like, okay, so right. So that's what happened. And then the toilet paper and the hand sanitizers were all sold out, and I was like, what the heck? And then coincidentally, the vitamins, the cold medicine, the immune system boosters, the vitamins, they were all left on the shelf. People have never stopped to surprise me. They just don't. So, so I decided that it would be fun to go on a hunt for toilet paper and wipes and hand sanitizer, and that's how that went. Oh, okay. Well, this isn't bad here. They still have some. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not toilet paper, but at least it's the paper towels. But the bath tissue, is all gone. There's the aisle. There's the paper tissue, toilet tissue aisle. Oh, it would look like we might get lucky. So it's just paper towels. Then, following that video, I kind of did a video that was kind of like off the rails, if you will, at least for this channel. I just had to address the Colorado drivers of Colorado, especially the drivers of Colorado Springs. I had to address them because, you know, it all started with me getting rear-ended back in 2018, and then, so I had some good, what I think is good legal advice for drivers of Colorado Springs, and here you go. Look, when somebody is in front of you, right, if they turn on their right blinker and they are next to the sidewalk, chances are they are going to make a turn. It doesn't mean you get closer and closer to them, closer and closer to their rear bumper. because that's dangerous, because eventually they're gonna have to stop, or not stop but slow down, way down, in order to make the turn. No one can make a 90-degree turn at 60 miles an hour. Okay, so that means you also have to slow down and give me the room, because I'm gonna severely slow down so I could take the turn. So stop tailgating when somebody's making a turn. Yeah.
Message again, press 1. To opt out, press the star key. Have a great day.
I just got a call from my accountant. She goes around and sends these New Year's voice messages. It keeps the client relationship bond strong. So yeah, so happy New Year's to my CPA, to my accountant. I wanted to do some camping. I've never done some camping. Well, not some realistic camping. The closest I've ever come to doing camping was in my home country, and it was because we had a big house with a big garden. So my father bought this tent and we set it up, and we were camping only during the day because we were not allowed to do that at night. Not in Haiti. So and like, you know, as kids, you know, you do what your parents tell you, like, hey, sun is down, come out the tent, come in the house. So so I bought this tent with the intention to camp. I haven't gotten around it in 2020, but most likely 2021 we are going camping. I'm gonna take you guys with me. It's gonna be fun. You get to see me completely botch this experience, because I've never camped before, but it's on the bucket list and I'm taking you with me, and that should be very, very interesting. But I did buy one and I tried to set it up, and this is how it went. All right, guys, things are looking up a little bit. Look like right now I'm just trying to figure out how these things are supposed to actually look. It wasn't that bad. Try to figure this thing out. But how did this end up inside of the my Veloster, my beloved Lucille Veloster? She crossed 100,000 miles this year. It seemed like only yesterday I bought her brand new with 22 miles out of El Paso, Texas. She's my daily, and she crossed it, and this is how that went. I wish this was happening during the weekend, or during a road trip, or during a day off, but that's all right. We are on our way back to duty. But Lucille, my beloved 2015 fully loaded Veloster Turbo from Hyundai, is about to cross 100,000 miles. No hiccups, no nothing. Come on, sweetie, you can do it. Oh, don't make me downshift. She's a manual. Yeah, buddy. I wish I was doing this in the Black Hills of South Dakota, or in Los Angeles, or at Red Rock Canyon near Vegas, or something like that, but that's all right. Colorado Springs, Colorado will do. There she is. She's about to hit it. She's about to hit it. Come on, come on. Yeah, buddy. You can do it. You can do it. All right. We did it. We did it. 100,000 miles. And we are going to start seeing a lot of transformation with that car. I do plan for her to start looking a lot more like Suki, my beloved IS300, because, and though she'll be my daily, but every once in a while I'll do a road trip or two with her. Yes, I say her because my cars to me are ladies, the ladies of Zoom 360. So yeah, so she'll look a lot more like Suki because I don't like to look like everybody else in traffic. So that's just me. I did a review also about the Veloster, about what I don't like and what I do like. You know, just an experience of what it's like to own it, what's going to wear out and what's not, and blah 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 blah. I mean, it's a fairly popular car, so I figured that, you know, somebody might appreciate that video. So there's a snippet of that. I think this is going to be probably the last thing I'm gonna bring up about this car. The Veloster is fun. It's like a go-kart. It's like a luxurious go-kart, like a go-kart with a radio and it's manual and it feels comfortable when you sit in it and stuff like that. It's just been a fun car. Like, so the third thing, I just started the car because I have to have it on for me to show you, and I chose to start it all the way because it's hot. I need some AC. So one thing I noticed very early on is the clock system in this car. It doesn't stay consistent. Whenever I set the clock, let's say to noon today, if I wait a day and I return at noon to look at the clock on the dash, it's gonna be late by 1 minute. So every day it loses a minute. It falls behind by 1 minute every day. And then we began, I think at that point, we began our love affair with the Grand Dunes of Colorado. I love that place. I love that place. There's something about the dunes. I don't know what it is. I just love the dunes, man. And this is how that went. Now, we tried to go to the dunes several times. Like the very first time that we went, we tried it 3 times because we got to a certain point and then for some reason we got to a certain point and it started to rain and I was fearing hail within the rain, so I turned around. And then we got a lot closer the second time, then hail did come and I could see it coming from afar, like, you know, hitting the ground really, really hard. I was like, no, and I turned around, escaping the hail. And then the third time we finally made it, so that's how that went. We kind of had to make another video that kind of went off what that we usually do here. This had to do with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, the actor who played Jackie Robinson. He played a few other movies. He played James Brown, very good movie. And you guys most likely know him as the Black Panther. He died, so that really kind of hit me hard. So I kind of did a video about that. And a very important lesson is that a lot of people know that they're going to die, but it hasn't really sunk in, so they live their lives as if they're not going to die. But death, I think, is something that should sink in everyone, because I think, to me, death is the ultimate motivator, because you know that your clock is going to run out. So it's like, go do this and go do that and go do this, because there's going to be a time where you will not get the option to do it. That's my number one source of motivation. Well, number 2 is death. So yeah, really, really sad to see him going so young, and jeez Louise. Then we continued our love affair with the dunes. We went to hike the dunes, and that's how that went. What? Flexing on the views, flexing on the dunes. Now this is where I wish that it wasn't so hazy today. Then we began our 14-day, or was it 16 days? No, 14-day road trip. I wish that we were going west for this road trip, but we didn't. But don't worry, 2021, we should be going west. So, Monuments So the first stop, so we drove from Colorado Springs. The turnaround point was Massachusetts, Stoughton, in a small town called Stoughton, very close to Boston. So that was the turnaround point. So the first stop was Monument Rocks in West Kansas, and this was definitely this year the second most jaw-dropping location I've been, as in a natural wonder location I've been, is definitely Monument Rock. And this is how that went. And I have to agree, there's something about that place. I just love being in places like that. I don't know what it is. It's like places that are awkward and not so usual. I had a good time, even though it's just weird shaped rocks, but it's just like where they are, how they're shaped is just, I just love it. Then we stopped by one of our favorite places in the US. I've been there several times. I have several videos out about it. Metropolis, home of Superman, the official home of Superman here in the United States. We went to Gettysburg. I always like to do or go to a place that has to do with history, at least one place a year. So I stopped by there, and I gotta say, of all the stops, that was my favorite stop, because there was a lot to see and a lot to learn. Then we ended up in upstate New York, my old stomping grounds, my humble beginnings in more ways than one. So we chased some nostalgia in New York City. I've not been to New York City since 2009. That was when I flew over to Germany, and I stayed in Europe for about 4 years. And then I came back to the States, and last year, 11 years was the first stop. And I didn't even really linked up with anybody, because it was just, because the visit wasn't really for that. I had to speak with one of my relatives there, and after I was done, which was like in wee hours of the morning, I think it was like 3 a.m. and I was like, I needed to get out of New York City before the sun rose, because I don't want to get caught in that traffic, and the roads were worse than I thought that they were. But I took the time out to just reminisce. Then we continued to chase nostalgia in upstate New York. Then we chased some more nostalgia in Dunkirk, New York, which is, well, it's not there, but there's a village not far from Dunkirk, New York called Cassadaga, and within that area there is Cassadaga Job Corps, which is that was one of the key things about my life that kind of, it's one of those key moments in your life that changes you as a person, like from that point on. And I kind of had to like go over there and take a sneak peek, though I do plan to return there and ask to actually visit the center, and hopefully they'll let me. Then I got bored, so I decided to actually hike the actual dunes, because the last time we just hiked around it. But I was like, what is it like to actually hike those things? So yeah, we went back to the dunes and hiked the dunes. We concluded the year with cop stories. I just wanted to just say this one thing that happened, and I think I'm gonna start doing that a lot more. Due to my road trips, I have a lot of stories that involve cops. I just don't say them on here because I didn't think that this fit the channel. But now that I think about it, it actually does, because being pulled over by the cops is part of a road trip. So as a matter of fact, now it's a road trip. So that was my cop stories, and yeah. So as we embark on 2021, we're gonna keep on going places and taking you with us, and I hope that these videos, that you will enjoy them, and hopefully that they motivate you, they encourage you to yourself get up, get out and do it, because this is what Desmond 360 is all about. That's why that's one of the many reasons why I started this channel, is just to get you to get up, get out and do it. just go out there and see this country, at least start off with it. This was Zoom 360 2020, and we're going into 2021. Remember, as my father always said, is that don't let us not forget what matters most. Yeah, that's how it goes. Let us not forget what matters most, or don't forget what matters most is that you are still here. This is Zoom 360, inviting you to get up, get out, and do it. Like, subscribe, and share. Heal 'em out.